All right, guys, if you missed this last segment, you missed a whole lot. Dr. Nee was talking about how he's going to run 5K in under 20 minutes and bench 250 pounds. And he threw a shot at me, basically saying I wasn't taking care of my body. So I think you should go back and listen to that if you haven't. And now we're going to be talking about...
All right, yo, let's get into our next topic. We got a question from the audience. We finally got to our question. So here is a question that was written to us. It says, this is called Protecting Peace Without Quitting. Hi there. I'm a resident in OB-GYN, and I just wanted to say thank you for this show. I'm already seeing so many attendings around me who are just burned out and bitter, and it's starting to scare me. I don't want to leave medicine, but I also don't want to end up like that. How do you protect your peace and still stay in the game? HW. Those are the initials.
HW.
This is a very good question. This is a very good question. You want me to read it again to you, or you got it?
No, how do you protect your peace without burning out? I mean, that's the age-old question, right? And the fact that HW is a resident asking this question because the attendings in the residency program look like they either bitter.
We've been there. We've seen it. We've seen it.
To fall
Don't
out.
How many attendings you saw that were bitter? I saw mad attendings.
You know, divorcing, can't make it to their kids' stuff. You know, yeah. I mean, the way that we protect our peace is we do locums. That's
how do you protect your peace? Answer for yourself. Don't put us in there. We ain't sick, boss. You answer it.
We sick, and we do locums.
Answer for yourself, man.
So, I mean, but that's my answer. You know, in terms of my career, I do locums. I get to pick when I want to work, when I'm not available. And that allows me to do, the work that I love, but not be so inundated by it that it starts to become the thing that I hate. And I think, it's important for people to realize that early in their careers, that the thing that you love very, very much can encroach so much upon your time, your bandwidth, your
the thing that you're chasing the most.
The thing that you're chasing the most,
you'll run away from.
Now is chasing you.
You run away from it. Hell yeah.
It's chasing you. So, for me, it's locums. For other people, it might be really putting boundaries on, if you're not going to do locums, putting boundaries on.
Hey, yo, you stealing my notes, yo?
What?
You just stealing my. Anyway, keep going.
Putting boundaries on how you work, even if you're a W-2, right? And just really sticking to those boundaries. But understanding that, if you're going to put boundaries up, that it might be a little risky in terms of your interactions with people, your ability to get promoted. So, for example, right? We all know if you are working full scope OB, that you're going to generate work, right? So you're going to have output, which equals inbox. Okay? Your output equals inbox. And your inbox is not going to stop. It's just not. Now,
so you talking about the following up on results. You talking about notes.
Results.
People don't like you gotta break it down for people, Dr. Renee. Come on.
I am. So, following up on results, you may be somebody who says, listen, I do not under any circumstance take work home with me. I just don't. So the question becomes, that's fine. The question now becomes, what does that mean? Does that mean you are not going to finish that inbox and you'll get to it another day? Or does that mean you staying at work until that inbox is done, just so that you don't have to take the work home with you? You have a decision to make.
Well, that's what single people or people who are heading towards divorce do. The latter.
Well, you have
nobody to go home.
Either way.
I ain't got nobody to go home to.
Yeah, but that still messes with your mental bandwidth. you know? So how long you want
Yeah.
to be in that office? Or do you want to bring
Look,
the work home with you?
I say this, yo, protecting your peace is not optional at this point.
No.
It is not optional, yo. This is survival. If you
Compulsory.
guys, if you compulsory survival, whichever way you want to hear this, yo, protecting your peace is not something that you negotiate. It is not something that is optional. I'll deal with it next week. It is something that you, in order to survive, in order to get through this, you gotta prioritize this. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that if I were to look back and answer this question to even myself, I think what I would say is success, I have to look at it differently. Because you remember, my success for me was, oh, I want to be trauma program
Director.
manager, a director. I want to be a chairperson, all these different things of things that I saw when I was in residency or maybe as a medical student, but didn't really know the implications
Right.
of that. Right. And, like, I think it's really, for me, it's like, all right, I want to be the best clinician that I can be. I mean, I want to be the best clinician that I can be, but also at the same time, I need energy, right? Like, I need to, like, I feel very confident to say, like, I need energy for my family, for
Yeah.
you, to take you to go get shoes, for your
What
family.
shoes, Nee? What shoes? What shoes? Tell me the shoes you took me to go get. Tell me. Go ahead. Cap it up. Go ahead. Yeah, I didn't think so. Keep going. Keep podding.
Well, it's just time for you, time for the boys, time for the rest of our family. That stuff is important to me. You know
Yeah.
me already. Like, when we first met, the biggest thing that I always said, is the most important thing is family. Like, that is huge for me. And to some extent also, like, all of those things put together, then looking ahead is my future, right?
Mhm.
Like, who do I see myself in 10 years? And then when I go back and look at myself, am I going to respect myself?
Right.
Right.
Did
So
I
that's what
do
I'm
the
saying. Like,
things to get to that point?
yeah, so I got to redefine success. I think that's
Yeah.
the thing that I think for this resident who's writing in, like, you got to really think about, what does success mean to you? Does success mean, checking all of the boxes so that you can get the promotion, or that you can get the letters after your name, or that you can become chairperson or chairwoman or whatever it may be? Is that important, or being as balanced as possible? You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. But I
Yeah.
do want you to know there's a lot of people out now who are just like, look, like, I got to figure out how to balance this. It's more than just being like a great clinician. I got to be able to handle all these different things. That's part of it.
Yeah.
I do also agree with you about this, setting boundaries like early.
Mhm.
Like, you got to know this, you got to say no,
Yeah,
right?
you
Like,
have to know when to say no.
yeah.
Um, but the defining success, I think, is majorly important, because I think that people don't understand a lot of times what success comes with, right? Like, I was talking to our niece the other day, and we were talking about, like, how women are like, oh, I want a man who's a six figure and he's this and he's that and he's got to go,
High value man.
a high value man,
I don't know what
right?
that means.
I want a high value man. I want this. I want that. I want him to be, all these things, and they look at, all the things that he's accomplished or accumulated. And for them, like, that's the person that they want to be with. And that's fine. But also understand that in order for him to accomplish and accumulate those things, he got to work. Ain't nobody giving somebody who's just sitting on their bum all day six-figure salary. Six
Did you
figure
ever think? Did
salary.
you did you think like that when you were younger?
That one, a high value man,
Yeah, like, I know you didn't use, because the high value man
is
wasn't
a new
big in the
thing.
'80s,
But
but like, like,
when I
did
was
you?
younger, I just honestly, just a job. I mean, I'm young and I'm not, I wasn't like, I wasn't at a point in my life where I felt like, oh, I want a guy who's making six figures and this, that. I don't think I've ever said that. Like, that's
Do,
not
do, do
something
you think
that.
do you think that social media plays a role? Because I think,
No, I don't think that that's social media. I think that
really.
no, I don't think it's social media playing a role. I think that social media revealing what a lot of people are already thinking. I want a high value man. I want a man who makes this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. When I was younger, I never really thought about, do I want a man with X, Y, and Z? Like these things, right? I did want somebody with a job, because I used to always say, like, well, if a man's not dedicated to himself, how can he be dedicated to you? At the very least, he should be dedicated to himself. You got to know how to take care of yourself, right?
Were there certain things that you found more attractive than other? Like, were there certain types of jobs that were more, for example, like if you happen to date a guy who was making six figures,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to the guy who just had a job, right? Because they were taking care of themselves. Did you ever find yourself attracted mainly because that person was making six figures?
No.
And, they were giving you a certain type of lifestyle that you
No.
became accustomed to this.
Accustomed to
You
that.
became
No,
accustomed to that.
especially because I
I know you
I
ain't gonna
was
say it on the show anyway.
no, I didn't. But especially
You be
because
lying. Keep going.
I think I was always very afraid. I think I was always very afraid that the relationship would be imbalanced and very transactional. That's always, to be honest,
What does that mean? What do you mean?
meaning, right? When you have, for example, there are men out there who are like, we know one doctor who's out there, right? Puts out there all the time that, if he's looking for a wife, he's ready to settle down. He's looking for a wife, and this wife will never have to work, and he will take care of her, and he will pay all the bills, and he will do all.
You think that's cap? I think he's capping.
So I don't know if that. I don't know, but there are some men who are like that, right? There are men
I
who
think
are
he's
like
capping.
that.
Yeah.
My viewpoint of that. Everybody else, get your own viewpoint. But Dr. Renee's viewpoint of that is that you're not looking for a wife, you're looking for a daughter.
Ooh.
That's my
Why are you
viewpoint.
gonna say that?
That's my viewpoint. Because if you have someone in your house whom you consider a dependent, right? You consider this person a dependent and not a partner.
Yo, Dr. Renee is cooking.
Is either this person is a child of yours or a pet, right? So I never wanted to be someone's dependent. Like that's not the kind of relationship that I want. Now there are women who are fine being a dependent. They're not looking to be a partner. They're looking to be a dependent. Right? They're looking for somebody to, take care of them, give them things, support their lifestyle. There are women who are okay with that. And that's fine if that works for you. That was just something that was never, as the kids say, on my bingo card. Bingo!
Is that what they say?
Yeah. That wasn't on my bingo card. When something strange happens or outrageous happens. That wasn't on my bingo card.
I think there's a lot of social media really has a lot of people thinking that is the norm, that you, as a woman, that you should expect someone to take care of you. They should divert a significant amount of what they bring in.
Social media.
That's what I see on my algorithms. Maybe that's not on your algorithms, but on my algorithms,
but I don't think it's social media. I think that is women.
Hold on. Let me finish my point.
Revealing themselves.
Let me finish my point. And I think that there are a lot of women out there who think that men should divert a lot of their income towards taking care of them. Yeah. On the other hand, I think that there's a lot of men who believe that the way, like, they don't know how to talk to women. I think there's a lot of men out there who don't know how to talk to men or talk to women.
What do you
don't know how to talk to women. And I think that a lot of men are used to being on their cell phones a lot and are used to communicating with women via DM and showcasing certain things about themselves.
You mean literally don't know how to talk like, hello, my name is Nee.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah, I think so. Hi,
my name is Nee. What's your name? So.
Because if all the interaction you do is via text or DM, where you're not really having real conversations, I think that there's a huge disconnect there. The whole notion, I agree with you, what you're saying, the whole notion of if you are professional or if you are whatever you may be, and you feel like, okay, whoever I date, right? Whoever I date or whoever I marry, automatically, as soon as they're going to marry me, we may get married. They're not working. They're going to do A, B, C, and D. I agree with you 100%. Now you've already relegated that person to a subservient position. For what? Right? For me, I've never understood that standpoint from a man's standpoint. I'm like, why would you want to marry someone?
Because they want to be the boss. If you can't be the boss at work, got to be the boss at home.
I think that's corny. I think that's so corny. Like, I don't understand how
Hit
women.
me with a honeymooners, Alfred. Hit me with a honeymooners.
I am the king in my castle. Alice is just a mere peasant girl. Oh, that's telling around.
Trixie sent me up to see if she could have some more thread around here.
Oh, hiya, sweetheart.
Hiya, Ralph.
Hey, that's a mighty friendly way to talk to a peasant.
I'm the king of the castle.
I just think that that's corny in terms of like, you know, what, I don't know. I don't like that at all. I just think that's whack. I think it's whack.
You just want your wife to go to work so she could take care of you. That's all.
That's not true at all. For me, I don't see the point of taking care of somebody. Yeah. I don't see the point of taking care of somebody.
But yeah,
Did you see, hold on. I do want to finish this one thing real quick, but
What you want to
I can't find that link. But there's the link of that doctor of anesthesiology who went on the what's that balloon show? The red balloon?
Oh, pop the balloon.
Pop
I
the
saw
balloon.
that.
Yo, if I could find it, I can't find it.
She was like, yeah, I'm a doctor. They pop, 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 pop.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring out our next single guy.
My name is Roman. I just graduated from USF as a doctor for anesthesia.
Yo, it was like a AK-47 in there. Yeah, and that's actually not the doctor I was talking about, by the way.
Well, I know who you're talking.
Yeah. But yeah, I did see that Pop the Balloon episode where he talked about being a physician, and you know, either all or most of the girls popped their balloons. And I think the reasoning behind it, was it because of the time that it takes?
So women reject because he wasn't
as established in his career.
I know you said you recently graduated school, something along the lines of that, and I'm looking for someone a little bit more seasoned in their career, a little bit more financially stable and things of that nature.
Yeah, he wasn't financially stable.
Yes.
But there's a lot of messages from men who are saying you dodged a bullet, and I'm like, I don't know, man, because a doctor going, okay, I'm just gonna put this out there.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I'm like, guys, just based off of the, I'm assuming when you go on Pop the Balloon, the women that you have on there are the type of women that you like, right? So for anybody who's not black, and if you don't know,
Pop the balloon.
The largest population in medical school right now is black women, right? So if you are in medical school,
well, not the largest population,
or the highest percentage
of black people are black women,
right? But I think, okay. Either way, there's a lot of black women in school, guys, right? And for me, if you're graduating,
you got to pick of the litter.
If you're graduating
pick of the litter
as an attending, and you are going to a TV show to find love, not from what I'm like, nah, something ain't right. It's something doesn't make sense.
I think honestly, I think that was a social media follow attempt.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like he's trying to build his career.
Yeah,
he's trying to build his
social media cachet, right? Because now everybody's gonna be like, who the hell is this dude? Why he gonna pop the balloon? And then people are gonna look him up and then follow him. I would hope that he wasn't going on Pop the Balloon.
But you don't understand what I'm saying? Like, why would you go on a game show? Why would you go on a game show to look for love if you're a doctor? Particularly if you're looking for black women. Like, I'm like, wait, what? And some of our listeners who are not black, you don't understand what I'm doing. There is a lot of black women in med school. Like, you should not have an issue with that. Anyway.
It's like is it 3-1? Higher?
What? It must be at least
5-1.
It got to be like 10-1.
Damn.
Anyway.
But yeah, I went down a rabbit hole after I saw that and was watching a bunch of Pop the Balloons. It is a very interesting crowd.
Yeah. Well, the show is not the same as it used to be when it was on the internet. Now that it's on Netflix, it's way different than what it used to be. So
yeah, but
some people say it was even better when it was on the internet.
The internet, yeah. But it's
just like Brooklyn and
interesting. crowd.
And Brooklyn and gentrification, these things occur sometimes. So
Yeah. Plus, I think people also go on there, again, just for social media plug. You know what I mean? Or people just kind of, well, I'm just going to pop.
There's always a secondary gain. Right?
Yeah.
Like people who go on these love shows, they're not really looking for love. They're just looking for either the bag or they're looking for another opportunity and stuff.
Right.
So.
Exactly. So I think that's a big part of it. But it's a very
HW, I think we answered your question about protecting peace without quitting.
Don't go and pop the balloon. That will bring you peace. Okay, now that everybody's peace is protected and nobody has quit their jobs, we're going to end this segment here. We're going to be talking in the next segment about a physician assistant who actually wants to start a locum tenens company. So check the next segment out and hear what we have to say about that.